Ministry in a Minute is a devotional presentation of the Crossroads School of Ministry. Whatever platform you're on, like, share, subscribe, help us get the word out about the Crossroads School of Ministry. And if you are a ministry leader or church leader or someone called to vocational ministry and you need training, Crossroads School of Ministry can help. Check us out online at crossroadsom.org, the Crossroads School of Ministry. Hey everybody, welcome to Ministry in a Minute as we finish up Jonah chapter 4, the whole book of Jonah. This last Ministry in a Minute is really important. Maybe it's the most important thing we're going to say about this whole book. And that is something that doesn't even happen in the book of Jonah. It happens 100 years later. And I've mentioned this in the scripture study. If you didn't see our chapter 4 scripture study on Wednesday night, you can go to the archives and see that. But 100 years after Jonah, the Israelites were taken into captivity. And as much as Jonah hated the Ninevites, it was the Assyrians that God used to judge Israel. And Israel was taken into captivity by an Assyrian nation that because of Jonah had been softened. You know, they were a nation that had a reputation as being ruthless. And now they were a people, even though they weren't, I don't know that we would consider them part of God's people, that the change that happened in Jonah's time may not have lasted, but it changed the culture enough that now they took the Israelites back, and instead of killing them, they took them back as captives, and years later they were able to come back to their homeland. And so God was doing something beyond what Jonah could even know or understand in his day. And that's an important thing to remember, because you may be doing ministry that feels like you're not making a difference. You may just feel like you're languishing in the same thing day after day. But if you are obedient, God's got a bigger plan. If you continue to faithfully do what God says to do, He's going to use it. And it might not be in your generation. It might be in the next generation. You might plant a seed that doesn't get watered or grow for years to come, but you stay faithful. And this goes for pastors and preachers and teachers, but it also goes for ministry leaders. It goes for every Christian who's trying to minister to the people God puts in their life. Don't lose heart. God has a plan, and He will use your faithfulness. Our job is not necessarily to see the results, and we like to, and we should expect some results, but our job is to stay faithful, knowing that God will do something with our effort. And that's the big takeaway from Jonah. And I think it's neat to watch God work in the totality of the history of man, and not get bogged down in what's going on right now in my life, but really think and understand that God's got a bigger plan. So, all right, next week we're going to hit the ground running, a little bit more of a focus on application, ministry-oriented discussions next week. I've got an idea. We're going to spend some time with David next week and talk about our effect on the culture around us, a big topic for ministry. So we'll see you Monday for another Ministry in a Minute.